Here I am, your fairly average 17, 18-year-old kid in high school. Just like you. Ever since, I was a little kid, I always had the ambition and desire to become successful. And I always wanted to just do what I would dream of, and the goals that I had, I want to accomplish them. That was always my idea that I had in mind. And no matter what happened, even though sometimes I felt like quitting and I felt like giving up, I had some bad points in my life. And I feel like everyone goes through that. There's been times where life hits you really hard and you just feel like giving up and quitting. And you just don't know what to do. You feel helpless. You have no idea where to go from that. Now, I'm just like you. I'm one of you. I have the ambition and the desire to become successful. I wake up early. I work out. I train. I go to school. I try to keep up with school. I try to run a few businesses. I try to make money. I'm trying to build my life from a fairly young age, and I've been doing this pretty strictly for a couple of years. My entire life is basically surrounded by self-improvement. Everything that I do is based on becoming the best version of myself. And that's what self-improvement is for me. And I believe that there's so many people that are trying to improve themselves and they feel so lost because of everything that has happened over the course of their life to program them. And it's really hard to just completely switch your life, completely just change up your lifestyle and do exactly what you manifested, what you dreamed of, and what you wanted to do. There's so many people that feel lost these days. You go on your phone, you see all of these guys, they're rich, they're jacked, and they got everything that you want. The money, the woman, the physique, and their parents are happy, and everything that you've ever wanted, you just see it out there. And here come you. You see that, you want it, and you are trying your very best to do it. But are you really trying your best? Because as you lay on your bed every day and you scroll through TikTok or Instagram Reels or YouTube Shorts trying to find some motivation, is your problem really motivation? Or is the problem just your lifestyle and everything that's happened to build your sort of lifestyle that you have right now over the course of the many years? If we look at people's day-to-day behaviors, we will realize why they are where they are today. You might think it's laziness, that's your problem, or it's just too hard, or you don't have the motivation that you're looking for, or you're just not built for this, or it's not your fault, it's not for you. In reality, no, it's about the conditioning. Most of us have been conditioned to fail and lose, and we've been going through that since a very, very young age. And what about your environment? Let's talk about that. Have you ever thought about your environment? At school, your friends, your family? Just think about it. Are your friends, your family, and the people that go to school that are around you, are all of these people the people that you're trying to be like? Are you really looking up to them? In most cases, most of these people, you would never want to be like them. So why are you surrounding yourself with those kind of people? You see, your environment is very important, and I had to learn that the hard way. I used to have some periods of time where I would be very lonely, and I really hated it. But then I also switched that up, and there were some periods of time where I had a lot of friends. Not all of them were real friends, but I thought that having a lot of friends is a good thing while I was lonely. But then when I had all of those friends, I realized that having all of these friends is just unnecessary, because at the end of the day, most of your friends are fake. Listen for a second. Most of your friends are fake. And I'm telling you this. Right now, you might be in grade 9, 10, 11, 12. You're in the same class as these guys. And then you finish high school and you think they were your friends. And then a year later, they end up going to a different city or a different country or just even a different university. And they're not in your environment anymore. They'll forget you. They won't even remember your name. You'll see them at a store They'll walk by you, they won't even say hi to you because they didn't truly care about you. Now that's the difference. You could be lonely, you could be the popular cool kid at school, have a lot of friends, but I wouldn't consider those friends. You see, there's a difference between having real friends and just friends, which we could say that most of them are probably fake. Because at the end of the day, if we have a bunch of real friends, you're not going to have a bunch of them. If you could have one, two, three, four, five maybe real friends, or have 50 fake friends, the person who has 5 real friends has so much power in their hands, because real friends are the type of people that would go and stay with you no matter what. You ever try to talk about your goals to certain people and they just start laughing? Like, you tell them, oh, I want to start hitting the gym, I want to get big, and they start laughing at you and they're like, oh, you're just gonna be eating protein bars every day or something. Like, there's so many people that try to put you down, and your environment is really important for that reason, which is what I'm trying to explain. If you're putting yourself in that environment where the people that you were with, they're on the same wave as you. And this is what I had to learn. I had to go from being lonely to having a lot of friends to completely removing everyone and only keeping a small, specific amount of people, and not just a random number of people, the specific people that I feel like they would complement my goals, the people that are on the same page as me. They're on that shit. They want to get money. They want to get jacked. They're trying to be successful. They're trying to better themselves. That's what you need. It's so easy to win nowadays if you have a very good team. And that's what's lacking these days. Now you might be asking me, oh, well, I don't know anyone who's trying to be successful. They all think that's cringe and like they don't want to be around me. Well, we're living in a digital world. As maybe you won't have, you might not find that many people in person at your school or like, in your area, let's just say. You might not find those people. But at the end of the day, you're living in a digital world, which is why you should communicate. You should build connections. There's so many people that are on self-improvement these days that you could literally go online, go on Instagram. I know all you use social media. Go find someone on social media. Hit them a DM and try to connect with them. The more very strong connections you build with the people that are on the same page as you, the easier it will be because you could push each other. One life lesson that I learned was when I was with two of my friends and we went to the United States together. And we were there for a week, and it was basically just a military camp for us because we would wake up at 5 in the morning, we would go running, then we would come back, we would eat a lot of protein, eggs, meat, everything. It was the perfect diet, perfect training. We would wake up early, we would go to sleep early as well. We would work hard throughout the day, would work out. It was pretty much just a full-on military camp for self-improvement. And what I noticed is that when I'm alone and I'm trying to be on this, like, I'm on my villain arc, I'm all alone, I don't want to see anybody, I don't want to talk to anybody. I feel like that's wrong because when I was with my boys, I never slowed down. And it's like having the feeling of just, if I slow down, then I'm going to look bad in front of my boys. So I can't slow down. And that's what's really important. If you have a community, if you have a group of people who are working with you, they're on the same page as you, they're on self-improvement, whatever goals they have. If your goal is to become a professional footballer, you're not going to become a professional footballer by surrounding yourself with a bunch of basketball players. That just doesn't work like that. You want to surround yourself with people who play football, who are good at football, or trying to go pro in football. That's what you have to do. You need to pick your environment. Now, going back to how I was saying, the conditioning, how you have been conditioned. Look at your parents, look at your family members. In a lot of cases, you guys would agree with me that your parents aren't really who you might aspire to be at the end of the day. Do you really want to go to school, study, then after school, have a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life that you don't like, then you have a family, you pay the bills, go on vacation maybe once a year, and all the goals and dreams that you had as a little kid, you just like put them to the side. Like, do you really want that life? Because I feel like most of you would agree with me that your parents, you don't really want to end up like your parents in the future. Your friends, well, most of your friends, what do they do? What do they do? They play video games. They watch the dark web every day. I don't know, they talk to just these mid hoes every single day. Like, they just don't have any purpose in life. They're moving as if, you know, everything will be okay. That's how they move. Like, they don't have this idea that, oh, I'm 16, 17, 18, 19. Soon I'm gonna be a full adult. I'm gonna be responsible for myself. And I know some people aren't privileged and they're at the age of 16, they have a full job and they have to go to school and they might be even living on their own at like the age of 17 and 18. You have to realize that some people, they don't have the same advantage as you. Although I'm not from like a very rich family, I'm from a fairly poor middle class family. I'm your average kid. I'm just like you. But I'm not trying to make excuses that, oh, I'm not made for this. Oh, I'm too lazy. You've been conditioned. Your environment and how you've been programmed. Your brain is a program. What you'll notice is that if we teach a little kid good manners when they're growing up, then when they grow up to be an adult, they'll maintain pretty good manners. While if we have a kid who like just their parents don't care about them, they don't teach them any manners, when they grow up, they'll be a shitty little kid with no manners at all. And same thing applies for everything else that comes with it. If you're going to school and you're being conditioned from a young age that your entire purpose is to get a job, then that's exactly what you're going to become. If all your friends are playing video games and it's okay to play video games, it's okay to waste time, you don't value your time at all, and you end up just living life without purpose. You need to find your purpose. Your purpose could be one thing or it could be a few things that go together. At the end of the day, you must find a reason to live. You're not going to become successful by scrolling every single day. You're gonna get a motivation spike. You're gonna be like, oh my god, this guy has a Lambo. I really want that V12 SVJ. I really want it. You might get that spike, but you keep scrolling. You're not just like randomly getting up and for a whole year straight you're working and you're trying to make the money for that car. You're not gonna become successful by scrolling. You're not gonna become successful by having a bad environment. You need to change your entire lifestyle. If we compared someone who's in the top 1% of men and we compare him to the top 10% of worst men in the world who are just complete losers, we're gonna see a huge difference in their lifestyles. This guy is gonna have everything in his life under control, the top 1% guy. While the top 10% of the worst men, like, they don't do anything with their life. The most they'll do is work a 9 to 5 job, and then they'll come home and they'll eat their chips. They'll play some video games. Oh, I worked at my job, I'm tired. At the end of the day, you have to realize this. There's 24 hours in a day, right? I have 24 hours in my day. You have 24 hours in your day. It's a fair game. Yes, I might have a head start compared to some people who are very, very poor. Or you have a head start over me. Maybe you're from a relatively rich family and things are going well for you right now compared to me. Maybe you have a head start. Maybe you have better genetics for bodybuilding. Maybe you're just way smarter in certain things. At the end of the day, if we take someone who really truly tries, they're gonna surpass anyone who had an advantage. We could have someone who starts running a marathon, right? And they get, I don't know, maybe half of the race as a head start. But then we have the other guy who didn't get that head start, but they're running faster. So by the time this guy, the first guy who had a head start, only runs half of that marathon, Because the other guy was running faster, he trained, and he was really prepared for this, he could beat that guy. It's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. In a race, it doesn't matter if you win the race by an inch or by a mile. Winning is winning. Like in Fast and the Furious. You need to understand that there are people that are willing to work harder than you. And your head start and your comfortable life that you're living right now, it's temporary. Your parents aren't going to be supporting you your entire life. And, as much as I'd love to just, live comfortably, whenever I go back to just the lifestyle of playing video games, having a bad diet, not working out, I start feeling really bad. I just don't feel great. A human wasn't made to live a life without purpose. Every human should have a purpose, especially if you're a man. You have to understand this. If you're a man, in the future, you're going to have a family. And that family is going to be looking up to you. Your dad. Not everyone has the best dad ever. But your dad still did something for you. He still made the money. He got you a roof under your head, the food, paying for your classes, or you were going to football or swimming lessons as a kid. Your dad was helping you out. But was your dad really the perfect role model for you? Who would you want to become if you were really dreaming of the best version possible? No, which is why you have to outperform your dad. Think of life as a competition. If you want to be successful, you have to think of everything as a competition. And competition is what drives men to win. Testosterone. That's why men have more testosterone. Testosterone makes you want to compete. You want to win. You want to be better. That's why in sports, you compete. You want to win. Even in video games, you want to win. You're playing Fortnite, there's 100 people. You're trying to be that one guy that wins the match. You don't want to be number 99. You don't want to get top 50. You're not going to be proud of top 50. You're trying to be first place, trying to be number 1. Whether it's becoming the biggest guy in the gym, or the strongest guy, or the fastest guy, or the smartest guy, or the guy who makes the most money, or the guy who has the most cars, the guy who has the fastest car. Why do guys always want to be the best at something? Testosterone. You want to be the best. That's what you were built for. You were built for competing. And competition is what drives you forward. If you're not competing against someone, you have no purpose of winning. Because what's the point of being first place if there's no competition? You need to find competition for yourself. That's why you need a better environment. If you're sitting in class and all your friends are fat, some random 300-pound whale feminist sitting beside you, and that's your friend, you really want to end up like her? Because at the end of the day, if you're sitting beside that person, she's your friend, or he, whatever, who's your friend, it doesn't matter. If I'm sitting next to a 6'4" jack guy who's making 100K a month, I want to be like him, and I want to be friends with him. I don't want to be friends with some 5'4" little 100-pound twig that has no purpose, plays video games all day, eats chips, and has never been with a woman his whole life. I don't want to be like that. You have to understand that right now, it's already been 3 months since 2024 started. There's nobody else who's going to do this for you. The only person who can do this is you. My speech here, it could only inspire you to finally think and change your lifestyle. Start waking up early. Start going to bed early. Start working out. Start building discipline. Turn off your phone. Delete all that Snapchat, TikTok, YouTube. Delete all that from your phone. If you see that you can't control yourself, you see distractions, you eliminate them. Optimize your time. If I'm working 16 hours a day while you're working 2 hours a day, who's going to win? Me, because I'm outworking you. I'm out competing you. Think of it as a competition. Think of it as a race. Who's going to win the race? The guy who's been working for the past 10 years, 16 hours a day, or the guy who's been working for the past 10 years, an hour a day? If you're trying to learn, for example, a new language, if you're only going to practice once a year, are you going to learn the language? No. If you're trying to become the top 1% man in the world, the top 1% man, going all in for a week in a whole year, that's not going to make you the top 1% man. So you have to wake up and you have to lock in. So easy to be great nowadays because there's no competition. Most of us are trying to do something about our life, but we're stuck. Why are you stuck? Because of your lifestyle. You've been conditioned into the improper lifestyle. Your lifestyle is wrong and you must change it. Change your habits, change your lifestyle, change your friends, change the people that you surround yourself with, and become successful.